Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will pick it up from where we left off in the previous video. We are looking into the update cart Python automation test. Stay tuned. What I'm actually doing right now is that I'm adding the product to the cart, right, with a quantity, and then I'm saving the I'm saving the ID. So I'm getting the product ID. I'm getting the product ID from the JSON data. So I'm saying look at items, and this is what essentially we are doing. We are looking at items, and then we are saying get the product ID of the items, and then this will be great in an end-to-end test. But anyway, we are doing the then go to items, then the first product ID of the first one. So as we add the product ID, the last one becomes the last, if you understand what I mean. Like the last we add comes up to the list, right? So this cart 6, cart 7, cart 2, cart 9, not really, is it? This is crazy. Cart 12. That's why we have to find another way to do this. So essentially it looks like, I mean, we are getting there. We need to find, so at the moment we are saying get the first list or object of this item. So this item and the first object, and then we're saying get the ID and store in here. So when we print off the ID here, so added product to the cart ID, and then they added that message. Where is it? That particular message should be somewhere. Getting product cart ID. Okay, where am I now? Maybe it's at the very, it's at the very top. Category, user, product ID is 28. 24. So essentially it's product ID 28, the last one that we want ID. So something isn't quite right, is it? Status 200. We are getting the last one, but it is not really the last one we want because we are updating something. But although it does update this last one, I think that's the biggest. It does update it, but in an end-to-end test it will be easier, isn't it? We just go into the front end and we select ID, and then we pass it on to ID. I'm just thinking of a way when we return the product ID from here. Just thinking of a better way than this one. What's the better way? Because essentially the best way would be to, the product ID will be a higher ID in it. That's the only one there. We have to scroll through here, scan through here, and find the highest product ID, right? And that highest product ID is essentially what we want to return, not exactly what we got here. So I'll find out what to do. So I'll find out what to do. Find So bring this one down here. So this is this, so this, the first item or the first object of this array is not necessarily the last product that we created, right? We added to the cart. It's not necessarily the last one. And the only difference here, sometimes we can also look at cart ID, cart item ID, because we got 6 there, 7, 8. So the cart ID may be a difference, because that's 8, 9, 10, 3, 11, 12. So 12 is the highest. So 12 is essentially the last one. It's supposed to be the last one. Let's say it's 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Then again, we've also got product ID 28. It could be that I did something somewhere. So it looks like the cart item ID is done, because listen, is this 20? Oh, this is 20, not 28. So it looks like the cart ID, item ID, is the one we should look for, the highest cart item ID. Find the highest product cart item ID. That's what I should be looking for, and that's the one that we should return. All right, so find the last product added to the cart by using the cart item ID. Okay, so the cart item ID will tell us, the last cart item ID will tell us the one added, and each time we add something into a cart, we create a cart ID, and that cart ID is basically what we are using. So I said that we need to look for the highest. So the highest cart item, we can use the function maximum. We pass the JSON data, and then we want to pass the ID, just like what we were using before. We want to pass the we want to pass the value of the item. So we want to pass that one, the so if we look at, let me explain, I'm just finding it hard to explain myself. So if we look at items, this item which comes after the cart ID, right, of the whole the item is basically the array, so which contains objects, right? So these are what we call a list of dictionaries. That's what they call it, right? This is a list of dictionaries. So we want to find out the highest of the cart item ID, and that will give us the last item that we've added. And the last item ID that we have added, we are looking for the product ID, right? So we use the maximum to find the highest, right? So we go through the JSON and say, right, look at these items. So look at these items, and then give me the highest of cart item inside this access. So all the objects of this particular array, give me the highest of the cart item ID, the highest of the cart item ID, right? Then we obviously say, okay, once we've got that, then take this node of that particular highest of cart item ID, take that node and store that ID into this variable, and that is basically what we are going to use and do what we want, right? And save that ID. And then when we save that ID, then when we save the ID, once we've gone through this request and save that ID, we're going to update it. So this request is a post request, right? This request is supposed to request. One thing I forgot to do is that I forgot to update this to a put as well. I had it as supposed, so that was a mistake. You know, when you copy and paste, sometimes you have to be careful. So to save it, I'm gonna do this thing, right? And then I'm gonna, you know, pass the quantity that I want to update it to. So here it is one quantity, one quantity here. When we update, we want it as 3 quantities. Okay, so I mean, I think we've kind of like covered the first bit. The first bit is to make sure we update the last products that we added to the cart. Okay, and the last product we added to the cart, we get it from here. All right, and then we update it. We take it, we take the ID that we store in here, and we update it. And then, so I think the next one we want to assert, within this thing is that the quantity is what we want, 3. Okay, so we said assert this is 200, and then we probably need to do another assert where we say, I don't usually like doing more than one assert in a thing, right? I don't like it, but this assertion is just the status, so that's fine. Update, we are not getting any response. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem. When we are updated, we know, because if you look at this one, when we do this update, we're not getting anything like that. So the only way we can update it is to do a get. Yeah, we need to do a get to see this one. And if we do a get, then this thing becomes big, right? Before I did, you know. So we want to go into cart. Make sure I'm not going to the wrong place. Okay, so you see we've got a lot of products in the user's cart. Okay, and if you do a get and we've got a lot of products in the user cart, it means we've got to once you've got the we've got to do the same thing that we done here, where we get the so once we've got to copy this one and then go through that items. Once we've got the highest, you see how we got the highest, so we have to do a get. Basically we have to do this get, we have to make a call for this get, and then we need to go through it the same way that we done this one and get the doing the highest or whatever, and then get this node, quantity node, rather than product ID. We want a quantity node, and then we want to say that the value to quantity node is 3, which is basically the end of our test. Basically, unfortunately, I've run out of time and I need to continue where we are on the next video. See you then.